The time has come. I must say goodbye.
Do you mean you're leaving us for good now? Should've known it would end this way.
So who are you anyway? His pupil?
Yeah, I'm Goku. You know, Shenron, I've never been this tired.
$3. That's exactly what you heard. With $3, you can have full access to my manga and high quality like Yamoshi is a Girl, and of course the best Akumo Saga. All this and much more, with more than 5 gigs of fan manga access Patreon on comments.
In the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, more precisely on planet Earth, it was possible to see Pilaf, who looked like a blue elf or gnome, along with his group composed of Shu, who had an appearance similar to that of a dog, with a katana on his back, and Mai, who was just a human normal with a gun at the waist. The three had appearances of children, around 12 years or so. This is the famous Pilaf gang. Looking closely at the small group, it was possible to see that Mai was holding the dragon radar used to track the Dragon Balls, and Shu had a backpack on his back, and Pilaf, who was in front of the group, was holding one of the Dragon Balls, the Spear of 7 Stars. Pilaf said, "With this Spear of 7 Stars by my count, there will be 2 more spears left for us to take and make the wish we want. I already know what wish we are going to make, and with that wish we will never have to starve again in life. Of that I'm absolutely sure," said the little blue gnome while looking at the Sphere of 7 balls and lifting it upwards, making the sun hit it and reflect an orange color. Shu spoke. "Are we going to make a wish to never starve again? But we are living there in the Capsule Corporation, and there they always give us the best food to eat, in addition to giving us an excellent room with a high-quality television and a soft bed, so that we can sleep peacefully. Even more, Mai, who has lucky to fall into the grace of the little boss, he always wants to give all the best to Mai. And as we are all raised together, we end up taking advantage of that. We are living peacefully there in the Capsule Corporation," said the dog with a body similar to that of a human, who was carrying the other spears of the dragon in his backpack. Mai said, "You two should shut up for now. We don't need to find 2 more Dragon Balls, because with the 7-star ball in Pilaf's hand, we already have 6 of the 7 Dragon Balls, and the last one is not so far away from us. By the way, why are we going after Dragon Balls to make a wish? I thought we were going after the Dragon Balls to give Bulma, so we could make the wish she wanted, since the last time they used the Dragon Balls to send Broly to another planet. And from what Bulma said, it was such a battle intense that it made much of the Arctic continent turn into pure lava, and the environment changed completely. And until today, nobody knows about it except us, of course. And there's nothing between me and Trunks. He doesn't like me, and I don't like him either, and I never will," said the girl in an irritated tone, because once again her friends and colleagues had said that she and the eldest son of Saiyan Vegeta and human Bulma had something or would have something romantic in the near future. Shu said, "Tell that to your future self, because from what future Trunks told us, he and his future self are not just friends, and I'm sure about all of that from what Trunks told us. There was even a kiss between you," said the boy with the face of a dog while he laughed a few times with Pilaf. But soon the two had their faces buried in the ground from a punch from Mai, who was very blushed and irritated at the same time because of what her friend said. Pilaf thought, "Damn it! Little Boss decided to teach Mai how to use Ki to increase her physical abilities, and now she's the strongest of the 3 of us in the terms of strength. Shu is the fastest and I'm the most resistant. Could this be because I've always been beaten over the years?" asked the blue-skinned gnome, getting up and taking the 7-star Dragon Ball and giving it to Shu, who soon took the ball and put it in his backpack. Then Shu wiped his nose that was bleeding. Shu said, "You can't take even a small provocation, and you're already starting to be aggressive, Mai, because soon you had to gain this monstrous strength. You could have become faster or more resistant, but soon the most aggressive of the group gained superhuman strength. It does not compare to Trunks or the other Saiyans, but it is still superior to the strength standard of the humans," said the boy with the dog's body while cleaning his nose that was bleeding because of the blow he had received from Mai, who was calmer now. Mai said, "If you two stopped saying these things, I wouldn't need to hit you two, but you insist on this subject. Then I lose my head and hit you, because that's the only way to make you shut up. Now be quiet, because we are almost at the place where the last Dragon Spear is, which must be the 5-star spear. And if I hear anything about me and Trunks, I swear I will drop a hill like that on top of your heads," said the girl, clearly threatening her friends, who ended up getting scared. After all, they knew she would have the courage to do that. After the small fight of Mai, Shu, and Pilaf, they walked back towards a large earth pillar, and when they got close to the pillar, Mai looked at the dragon radar and saw that it was beeping, which showed that they were close to the spear of the dragon. And then Mai realized that the spear was buried between several stones. And when seeing that, Mai just looked at Pilaf, who understood what she meant. And with that, Pilaf approached the stone and raised his hand. And soon 2 spears came out of his hand and destroyed those stones. And the remaining stones ended up being thrown away because of the explosion of Pilaf's key attack that gave an arrogant smile. After all, in that regard, he was the best in his group. After the explosion, everyone waited a few minutes for the dust that had been generated by the explosion to dissipate. And when that happened, Pilaf, Shu, and Mai went to those stones and started looking for the 5-star Dragon Ball. And after a few minutes, Shu ended up finding it, the last Dragon Ball. Pilaf said, "Well, now we have all 7 Dragon Balls, so let's not waste time and let's summon Shenron," said the blue-skinned gnome to his companions, and then Shu took all the spears and placed them next to the 5-star spear. And then Pilaf, Shu, and Mai separated a little from the spears. Pilaf spoke. "Appear, Dragon of Desire, and fulfill my wish, please," spoke the blue gnome while looking at the Dragon Balls in front of him. After Pilaf spoke those words, the 7 dragon spears began to shine, and soon a ray of energy came out from within all the spears that connected all the brightness rose to the heavens, and soon the energy flash began to divide into a kind of particle, and from them arose the great green dragon with vivid red eyes. The face of the great dragon approached Pilaf and his company. Shenron spoke. "Were you the ones who summoned me once, Pilaf?" asked the Dragon of Desires while looking at Pilaf, who ended up scratching his neck because of that. Pilaf said, "Do what? Shenron, every time I invoke you, something happens and you end up distorting my original wish. But now nothing and nobody will change my wish. This time I will get what I want so much," said the determined blue gnome while looking at the Dragon of Desires that Pilaf invoked several times over the years, and the dragon got angry when he heard that. Mai thought, Pilaf said the same thing at the last time, but when he was making his order, Shu ended up saying he was hungry, and Shenron ended up giving us a feast. The feast was really delicious, but that wasn't the main desire, since at the time we wanted to go back to being adults. But now we don't care about that anymore because, being children, we can stay in the Capsule Corporation, thought the girl while remembering Pilaf's failed attempts to use the Dragon Balls over the years. Shenron said, "Before fulfilling your wish, Pilaf, I would like you to make another wish, but not for you, but for me," said the Dragon of Wishes to Pilaf, who was surprised as well as his colleagues. After all, this was the first time that the dragon spoke that to them. Pilaf spoke. "Do you want me to make a wish for your benefits? Wouldn't it be better if you just use your power and that's it?" asked the blue gnome, looking at the Dragon of Desires. Shenron said, "That's not how it works, to say it's easy. I can only use my powers to fulfill the desires of those who invoke me. In short, I can use my powers for my own will," said the huge Dragon of Desires while looking at Pilaf. Mai said, "Right, but what exactly is your wish, Shenron?" asked the curious girl about what would be the dragon's wish. After all, Mai couldn't imagine what Shenron had needed. Shenron said, "I want you to wish that I have a humanoid body and remain with my powers, and that way I will no longer be trapped within these spheres," said the Dragon of Desire, surprising everyone who was in the place. In the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, more precisely on a rocky place on planet Earth, it was possible to see Pilaf, Shu, and Mai looking at the powerful Dragon of Desires, Shenron, that had been invoked by the 3 young people a few minutes ago. The 3 young people at the moment were very surprised by the fact of Shenron having said that he wanted to gain a human form to be free from the dragon spheres, and that left everyone who was in the place very surprised. After all, Shenron is a dragon with great power in his hands, because he can fulfill any desire, or almost all desires, but now his wanting to gain a human form was not something that Mai, Pilaf, and Shu expected when the dragon had said that he wanted them to make that wish for him. But in the minds of the 3 young people there was the question, why would someone as strong as Shenron want to have a human form? After all, Shenron was the Dragon of Desires, and there was no reason for him to have a humanoid form. If Shenron wanted to know the world, he could do that easily. It is not necessary to have a human form for that. That was what was going through the minds of the 3, while Shenron watched them waiting for Pilaf, Shu, and Mai to say something to him. Shenron said, "So what's the answer for the 3 of you? After all, I said what I would like you to wish for me, but you still haven't said anything. You're just staring at me with wide eyes. Is my wish so bad that you guys get those shocked expressions? Asked the Dragon of Wishes while staring at the three young people in front of him. Pilaf said, "It's nothing like that, Shenron. In reality, we were surprised with your wish. After all, you are a Dragon of Wishes, and I never thought that you, someone who can fulfill wishes for the one who gathered the 7 Dragon Balls, would ask to win a humanoid form. Honestly, I thought you would ask for something different, like being able to talk to other wishing dragons like you, like that guy, Porunga. That's right, Porunga was the Dragon of Desires from the planet of Namek, who helped Goku when he faced Frieza for the first time," said the little gnome looking at the Dragon of Desires, and Pilaf mentioning Porunga in that conversation ended up surprising Mai. Mai said, "Porunga? I'm surprised that you remembered the stories that Bulma has told us, especially this one. That was one of the first stories that Bulma told us about the adventures that she ended up participating in over the years. Shenron, before we make the wish, I would like to ask you 2 things. First, why do you want a humanoid form? If only to know the world or travel through the planets of this universe, you could do this without the need for a humanoid form. Now the second question, after we make that wish, we can still make another one since you won't be a Dragon of Wishes anymore. Will you?" said the curious girl while looking at Shenron and ignoring Pilaf, claiming that he wasn't so stupid as to forget Bulma's stories. And Shu just laughed at the situation. Meanwhile, Shenron got a drop of sweat on his forehead after hearing what Mai had said. Shenron said, "Firstly, I wish to have a humanoid body, so I don't have to stay inside the Dragon Spheres. And I also don't want to stay inside the Dragon Spheres all the time, waiting for you to gather the spears to summon me. And recently I thought about helping Son Goku in different situations. He would normally need me, but beyond that I would like to experience the freedom that other beings have, and that is something I never had until the day I was born, or raised by the Namekians many years ago," spoke the Dragon of Desires while looking at Mai, who was surprised to learn that Shenron felt that way since normally he doesn't show feelings. Mai thought, "That's true, until today. I never asked myself if Shenron wanted to be a Dragon of Wishes, or if he did it because he was forced to. I always thought that when Shenron was summoned, he stayed in another dimension. But the way Shenron said, it means he was never free from before. And that's sad," thought the girl looking at Shenron and thinking about the sad life of the dragon. Shenron spoke. "Now about my second question. There's no need to worry because even if I assume a human form, I will still be able to grant any wish you want. And after that I will not be able to grant wishes for 1 full year, as usual. But still, when I have my humanoid body, I will not be an easy target for anyone. Because even though I can fulfill high-level wishes during that time, like for example bringing a universe back to life, or turning someone into the most powerful being in the universe, I will still be strong enough to fight any enemy that appears. After all, I'm not just an ordinary dragon. I'm a dragon god like all the other dragons of desires. Like my brother, Porunga," said the Dragon of Desires, proud of his power, something that surprised everyone to know that Shenron was a dragon god. Shu said, "Dragon god? I knew you were strong enough to make wishes come true, but I didn't know you were a deity. I thought that only the Golden Dragon was a divinity," said the boy with the look of a dog while looking at Shenron, who looked at him. Shenron said, "You must be talking about Super Shenron. He is actually the oldest and strongest among us draconic gods. He is also my older brother. All of the dragon gods have the same father, and we were created in the beginning by our father Zalama. But some of us were sealed in a parallel dimension, and when a new pair of Dragon Balls was created, we ended up being sealed and sent to them. I am one of the most new among my brothers. Now that you know a little more about me, I would like you to make the wish so that I can gain a humanoid form. Please. But if you don't, well, I won't force you to make the wish," said the Dragon of Desires, revealing something that only the angels and gods of destruction knew, or should know at least. Pilaf said, "Now that you said all that, I would feel really bad for not making this wish for you. You've already fulfilled so many of our wishes, I think it's only fair to make one of your wishes come true. Shenron, I wish for you to possess a humanoid form and retain still your current powers," said the blue gnome while looking at Shenron. Shenron spoke. "Your wish is my command," spoke the Dragon of Desires, making his eyes shine brightly. Then Shenron's entire body was covered in a golden light that started to dim little by little, and soon Shenron was the size of a normal human, just a little taller. It didn't take long for the golden light to start to disappear, and after that everyone could see Shenron with a body similar to that of a human. But he still had a tail and continued to have his dragon horns on top of his head, and his eyes remained red, but in the center of his eyes was now yellow iris. Shenron spoke. "So this is what it feels to have a humanoid body. This feeling is different," said the dragon, looking at his new form and being surprised by the feeling of being a human, or something very close to that. Pilaf spoke. "Now that we've fulfilled your wish, it's time to fulfill mine. My wish is to have an infinite apple, where every time we eat a piece or the whole apple, it retains to its original shape," said the blue gnome, thinking he was making a very good wish. Seeing that, Mai and Shu quickly were going to say something, but Shenron was faster. Shenron spoke. "Your wish is my command," said the dragon, snapping his fingers and making 3 apples appear to fall in the hand of each of them. Shenron said, "Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to explore the world a little, and then I'm going to visit Son Goku. Until then, I say goodbye to you. In fact, I'm going to send you back to the Capsule Corporation to make your life easier," said the Dragon of Desire, snapping his fingers, again making Mai, Shu, and Pilaf disappear from that place. But before that, Shenron saw Mai hitting Pilaf for making such an idiotic request, and Shu was just eating the apple in a calm way. Shenron thought, "Now that I'm free, I can do whatever I want. Actually, I had an idea. Pilaf said that he thought that I would be able to talk to my brothers, all my dragon gods, but in reality all of them like me are sealed in spheres. So if I gather them all, I can make them gain humanoid forms too. Since no one has forbidden us to make wishes to the other dragon gods, no one must have imagined that any of us would break free and gain a humanoid form." The dragon thought to himself while thinking of his brothers, the dragon gods, that now were sealed within the Dragon Balls, days later in the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, more precisely at the South Pole, it was possible to see that a snowstorm was happening in that place, and this was causing some humans who were in a base with some scientists inside. That base to not be able to see anything when looking outside, but one of the men who was having hot chocolate passed by the window and had a strange feeling. So he looked out of the window more attentively and saw in the middle of a storm a red glow similar to 2 eyes. So the man ended up taking a binocular to look again outside. Then he could see a silhouette strangely similar to that of a human, but the silhouette had a tail and a pair of horns on its head. Upon seeing that, the man tried to call his friends, who quickly took the binoculars, but none of them saw anything. And then they called his colleague crazy, and even the man who saw the strange creature ended up wondering if he had really seen it. The being that the man had seen was Shenron, who was knowing the world with his humanoid form, and was floating over the bases of those scientists. Shenron thought, "I thought I had hidden my presence and my body completely, but it seems that the snow made this human able to see me. Well, his friends won't believe him even if this man tries to convince them, and in fact, he doesn't even believe what he saw, and that's fine with me. After all, it won't be a shock for humans if they found out that there is a dragon with a human body wandering around this planet. This could cause chaos, so I better stay invisible to them," thought the dragon god as he looked at the scientist who had seen Shenron in the storm and was wondering if he was delusional. Shenron thought, "It's been a few days since the day I gained this humanoid form. During these days I've been wandering around and exploring this planet, which is very beautiful. By the way, but unfortunately its inhabitants called humans seem to want to destroy this planet with these nuclear bombs, these deforestation burnings, throwing oil into the sea and destroying the ozone layer. With these power plants that the humans created, I'm nothing more than a mere bystander. But I thought these humans were smart enough to know that if they continue to do things this way, the planet Earth will fall apart in a few centuries. But probably when that happens, the humans will come after me to save the Earth again. Only this time I don't know if I would help them. After all, they ended up with their own planet, and even if I helped these humans, they would go back to doing wrong things again. The human race thinks it is intelligent, but they are very ignorant, because they cannot see the results of their own actions, and in the end, the planet Earth pays," thought the dragon god of the planet Earth while looking up, and did not believe that humans were destroying a perfect planet. Shenron thought, "Well, I'm just here as an observer and nothing more than that, and it's time to go to Son Goku and his friends. After all, I've always helped the Saiyans, so I hope they help me to go after the other Dragon Balls scattered across the 7th universe, so that I can free my brothers. Could it be that if the Saiyans and I unite and use our powers, we can find our father and creator Zalama? Maybe yes, or maybe not. I'll only know that when I manage to gather all my brothers. Thought the Dragon God of planet Earth, excited about the possibility of finding his brothers, and possibly his creator, the true Dragon God Zalama. Shenron was not wanting to waste more time, so he started to fly and leave that place at a high speed. And because of that speed, Shenron opened a huge hole in the middle of the clouds, making the scientists who were at the place not understand how that had happened, since this was not normal in nature. Shenron, using his speed, quickly managed to approach the Capsule Corporation, and when he realized that he was arriving in the 7th universe, the Dragon God of planet Earth stopped hiding his divine energy, and in doing so, Goku and Vegeta, who were training as always, were on alert when feeling that divine energy, and Beerus with Whis, who were in the place, were also alert because both were on planet Earth to know the humanoid form of Shenron. Whis said, "Mr. Beerus, it seems that Shenron is finally coming to the Capsule Corporation, and not only that, his divine energy is much greater than the original version of him that was sealed in the dragon spheres of this planet. It seems the fact that no longer being inside the dragon spheres caused Shenron to release his powers, and by what it seems that power must be on the same level as the power of Mr. Goku and Mr. Vegeta when they transform into Super Saiyan Blue," spoke the angel responsible for the 7th universe, looking at his master, Beerus, the god of destruction of that universe, who was finishing taking an orange juice. Beerus said, "No, Shenron is stronger than Son Goku and Vegeta currently. The power that we are feeling is the basis of his power. When Shenron has to truly use his power, he will release a great power that will make him a superior being, capable of defeating Son Goku and Vegeta. After all, Shenron is a true dragon god, and dragons are very strong beings," said the god of destruction after finishing taking his orange juice, and then Beerus looked towards Shenron, who was coming. Whis said, "I have to agree with you. After all, dragons have a very great power, so much so that Zalama has enshrined as one of the most powerful beings in all universes, and Zalama was born as a simple mortal dragon, and after hundreds of years, he ended up becoming one of the strongest beings, even superior to the Daishinkan. Only some dragons ended up being killed by the ancient gods of destruction, and Zalama, to show the size of their power, Shenron and some other dragons were sealed in another dimension, where they would only come to the mortal world when the dragon spheres were created. And I think that this was the way that Zalama found to keep the members of his race of dragons alive," said the angel, who got up next to Beerus, who just sighed while thinking that could give him a big headache in the future. Beerus said, "I just hope Shenron doesn't do anything stupid. If not, I swear I'll kill Pilaf's gang, who fulfilled Shenron's wish to have a humanoid form. And the worst part is that in the end, the blame will fall on my back," said the god of destruction, sighing, just thinking about the problems he would have because of the desire of Pilaf and his group. It didn't take long for Shenron to appear on the spot. He created a small crater with his landing, and as he did so, the dragon god of planet Earth looked around and realized that in addition to Goku and Vegeta, there were also Beerus, Whis, in addition to most of Son Goku's friends, and seeing that Shenron ended up giving a small smile. Shenron spoke, "Looks like all of you are here. This will be faster than I was expecting," said the dragon god of planet Earth while looking at everyone who was in that place. Most of them were already aware of Pilaf's wish that made Shenron have a humanoid form. Goku said, "Who are you anyway?" asked the Saiyan, looking at the dragon god of planet Earth, and that made Vegeta hit Son Goku in the head. Vegeta spoke, "You are very stupid, Kakarot. Bulma talked earlier about what those brats Pilaf, Shu, and my son's future girlfriend did. They made a wish on Shenron to have a humanoid body so that Shenron..." Shenron said, "That's right, Goku. I'm the same Shenron you met when you were a child, who invoked me with his friends to make a wish like reviving that Krillin guy," said the dragon god of planet Earth while looking at the Saiyan Goku, who was surprised that it really was Shenron. Further back in the same location, it was possible to see Krillin irritated by that, but he was soon comforted by his wife, android number 18. Goku said, "Right, you really look like the Shenron that my friends and I summoned using the Dragon Balls. But what are you doing here? As far as I can remember, those boys who made the wish to give you this humanoid body told you that you would travel the world to see the world. So what are you doing here at Capsule Corporation?" asked the Saiyan, looking at the dragon god of planet Earth, who ended up taking one of his hands to the back of his head. Shenron spoke. I came here to ask for the help of all of you. I would like you to help me find all the other Dragon Balls scattered throughout this universe, including the Super Dragon Balls, said the Dragon God of planet Earth, revealing the reason for having come to Capsule Corporation. And when saying that, everyone was surprised, and Beerus, when hearing that, did not like Shenron's idea at all. In the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, being more precise on planet Earth, in the Capsule Corporation, it was possible to see Shenron in his new humanoid form, looking at everyone present in that place, who were very surprised with what the Dragon God of planet Earth had asked for them. But among all the surprised and some still in shock to see Shenron in a humanoid form, the only one with a neutral expression was Whis, but Beerus was with a serious expression and very angry. After all, what Shenron had just asked, that everyone help them to find all the Dragon Balls, and that was something very serious that could cause chaos on the universe when the dragons are free. Beerus thought, looks like my hunch that something big was going to happen was correct. Shenron has tasted freedom and he likes it. So he wants to go after the other Dragon Balls in order to gather them, and use them to fulfill the wish that his brothers should be freed one by one. The same way he did when he asked Pilaf to bring him in as a free humanoid, and that could be a big disaster. But many years ago, the High Priest had told us that it was no longer necessary for the gods of destruction to kill the dragons, so I will do nothing at that moment. But I also cannot allow anyone from my universe to help him. If that happens, I will eliminate that person who helped Shenron, and it's better that the entire 7th universe be destroyed, because he will be accused of conspiracy by helping Shenron to fulfill his objective, thought the God of Destruction while thinking about what could go wrong, and what could happen if he allowed someone from his universe to help Shenron collect all the Dragon Balls and complete his quest. Shenron said, so are you going to help me go after the other Dragon Balls, like the Dragon Balls from planet Namek, where my brother Porunga is sealed? Asked Shenron while looking at everyone with his focus on Goku and Bulma, since they were the ones who mostly used their powers from the spheres over the years, and thanks to Shenron, many of them are alive, like Goku, Vegeta, Krillin, and some other Z warriors who had been killed by some enemies of the past, who were only alive until today because Shenron at some point in history brought them back to life. Goku said, well, you helped us in many situations over the years, and most of the time without your help, the planet Earth would have been destroyed. Sometimes, and also, most of us died over the years, and without your help, we would still be dead. After all, I died at that time during the battle against Raditz, and if you hadn't resurrected me, we would all be dead and the planet would probably have been destroyed, or would have been dominated by Frieza. So I think we can, said the Saiyan while looking at Shenron, but was interrupted by Whis, who ended up drawing the attention of everyone at that place, including Shenron. Whis said, 1,000 pardons for interrupting the conversation between you, but I don't recommend that you help Shenron. I know you owe him a lot of favors. After all, thanks to Shenron, that you are still alive. And also many other humans too. But I can't let you help Shenron in this mission, said the angel in charge of the 7th universe while looking at all the gifts that were confused, mainly Shenron, who didn't see any problem in them helping him gather all his brothers. Bulma said, and why can't we help Shenron? It would be kind of wrong of us, as he has already helped us so much over the years, without asking for anything in return. And now that he's asking us for help, that would be inconsiderate of us, not to help him. Give us a good reason why we shouldn't help Shenron, said Vegeta's wife, while looking doubtfully at Whis. Beerus said, I'm going to give you a big reason. You're not going to help Shenron on this mission because if you help, even if just one person helps, I'm going to destroy this planet. And I guarantee this time nothing will help me change my mind, said the God of Destruction, looking seriously at all those present who were frightened by the warning and threat, as everyone heard those words very firmly, showing that Beerus was taking absolute seriousness about destroying the planet Earth if someone helped Shenron. Vegeta said, why are you saying that, Beerus? Just because they want to help Shenron, you want to destroy planet Earth and kill us. Say the real reason for not helping Shenron and don't threaten us, or do you not have a reason? Said the Prince of Saiyans, while looking at the God of Destruction who just got angry and ended up increasing his power. Goku and Vegeta, seeing that, began to increase their power to show that they would fight Beerus if necessary. Shenron also entered the fight, increasing his power. Shenron's power in his humanoid form was so great that he made Vegeta and Goku look like an insect. But soon the moods were calmed by Whis, who hit his staff on the ground, causing everyone to stop increasing their energy. Whis said, "That's enough. Staying like this won't help anything. So I'm going to tell them, Mr. Beerus, and I know that what I'm going to tell is a secret, but this is necessary. Before unnecessary fights happen. After all, if we don't do that, a fight can happen and planet Earth will be destroyed in the process," said the angel while looking at Beerus, who stopped increasing his Hakai. Whis said, "Millennia ago, dragons were considered beings whose powers and their potency were gigantic and could overcome the gods of destruction, and even angels. So one of them, called Zalama, who was the true dragon god, the creator of all dragons, ended up revolting against Zeno-sama. So my father, the Daishinkan, fought against Zalama to help Zeno-sama, and yes, my father managed to win. Since that day, the angels have spoken everything to the gods of destruction, who have started the fight the dragons in search of defeating them. And because of that, we cannot let you help Shenron, or else you would be considered traitors for conspiring with the dragon. And another one that Zalama can return with your help. So no guys, we cannot help Shenron. We can't let that happen because the 7th universe will be destroyed by Zeno-sama," said the angel, revealing why he couldn't let anyone help Shenron in that mission, as it would be contributing to the destruction of the 7th universe. Shenron said, "I see. So that's why you don't want to allow them to help me fulfill my mission. If that's the case, I thank you, Goku, and your friends for at least wanting to help me, even if it is impossible. Now I would like to know something. Are you going to try to stop me from completing this mission of mine, or are you going to leave me alone? Which of these two options, Mr. Beerus? After all, you are the god of destruction, and as such, you are the only one who will make the final decision." Beerus said, "What you will do or not do is not my problem, Shenron. I just hope you don't try to do anything stupid. Or if you don't, I'll have to interfere. And if you do, I'll have the intention of killing you, and I'll use Hakai to erase you completely. So I suggest that somehow go back into your Dragon Balls. That way you will continue to do your work without risking dying at my hand, or another god of destruction." Beerus spoke with a serious expression while looking at the dragon god of planet Earth, who soon left that place flying out of planet Earth. Shenron thought, "So my race was hunted by the gods of destruction, and now that I'm free and Beerus thinks I'll do the same thing that Zalama did. I don't know if I'm going to free Zalama for now, but I know I'm going to free my brothers. After my brothers are free, we'll decide what to do about Zalama. Now it's time for me to go after Porunga. And that won't be difficult since the Dragon Balls of the planet Namek are with the Patriarch of the planet Namek," thought the dragon god of the planet Earth, soon flying at a high speed in the direction of the planet Namek. Shenron managed to arrive on the planet Namek quickly, and when he arrived on planet, he managed to find the place where there was the largest number of Dragon Balls on the planet. When Shenron knew where the spears were, he went there and used his powers to become invisible, and entered the place where the spears were. Over there, he found 6 of the 7 spheres to summon Porunga. Seeing this, Shenron took the spheres quickly, and then left the place and flew to a huge lake, where he entered, and after a few minutes of swimming, he found the last sphere, and left to the side holding the last sphere of the planet Namek. Shenron spoke. "It's time to be free, brother," said the dragon god while looking at the 1-star sphere in his hand. In the 7th universe. Currently, in the 7th universe, being more precise on the planet of Namek, it was possible to see the dragon god of desires of the planet Earth, Shenron, who was now in his humanoid form. Shenron was over a large lake, and in his hand there was a large dragon sphere being larger than the spears that were used to summon him. But the dragon sphere on planet Earth no longer existed. After all, since Shenron assumed his humanoid form, he can no longer be invoked, and with that the spears disappeared. Shenron was staring at the 5-star Dragon Ball in his hand that will be used to summon one of his brothers, that being Porunga, the dragon god of the planet Namek. But soon Shenron left the place and flew until he found a flat place, and after finding this place he took all 7 Dragon Balls and placed them one next to the other. And then he walked away and began to concentrate so he could remember the right way to summon his brother, a little older than him, because to summon his brother Porunga needed to speak in different languages. This language belonged to the inhabitants of the planet Namek. Shenron, now concentrated, began to recite several words in a different language, being the mother tongue of Namek, and after Shenron recited his brother's summoned words, the dragon spheres began to glow brightly. and soon a golden glow ended up temporarily blinding Shenron, but after a few seconds, Shenron opened his eyes and looked up and saw a large dragon full of muscles possessing a size greater than Shenron, being Porunga, one of Shenron's older brothers. Porunga said, "Shenron, how is it possible for you to be here? And what kind of appearance is this? You seem to be stronger, but you shouldn't be here on the planet Namek, but on your planet called Planet Earth," said the dragon god of the planet Namek while looking at his younger brother, completely in shock. Shenron said, "Don't worry, my brother. I ended up asking the last person who invoked me to make a wish in my name, and with that wish I managed to escape from the spears. And I'm in this humanoid form, and thanks to that, I'm here on your planet, and I was able to summon you by gathering all your Dragon Balls. And now that I have this physical form, I am no longer connected to the dragon spears of my home planet, Planet Earth. And with that, the dragon spears have kind of disappeared, since they only had one function, which was to invoke me in the world. And how I already have a physical form, they are no longer useful, so they will disappear forever." Shenron spoke while looking at his brother, who was very surprised to hear that from his brother, and even so, he was still very surprised that his brother was in front of him in a completely different form from his original form. Porunga said, "So now you are completely free of your Dragon Balls, and now you can do whatever you want, since you are free. I still don't understand why you are here, and why you summoned me. I'm sure it wasn't just to tell me the news, brother," Porunga said while looking at his younger brother, and he was calmer, but he was still impressed with the fact that his brother was completely free of his dragon obligations of wishes, and now he could do anything. Shenron said, "You're right, my brother. I wouldn't invoke you just to tell you about my freedom. I invoked you because I want to fulfill a wish. You being older than me, you are also stronger. Only you can fulfill this desire," said the dragon god of planet Earth, attracting the attention of his older brother. Porunga said, "So you didn't just come to tell me the news, but also to make a wish? Well, this is going to be weird, but now you have a humanoid form. Nothing impresses me anymore. So go on and tell me what your wish is, my brother." Shenron spoke. "My wish is very simple. I wish for you to gain a humanoid form just like me, and keep your original powers. And furthermore, I want you to help me free Super Shenron, so that we dragon gods will never have to serve mortals again." The dragon god of the planet Earth spoke to Porunga, who upon hearing that was very surprised with his younger brother's desire. Porunga said, "So you want me to become like you too, and acquire a humanoid form? And that way I can help you free the other dragon gods, including our creator Super Shenron?" asked Porunga while looking at his younger brother, who ended up giving him a smile. Shenron spoke, "That's right, brother. It's about time for us dragon gods to be free and do what we want. The era in which we serve mortals is coming to an end," said the dragon god of planet Earth while looking at his older brother, who ended up finding it strange the way Shenron said that. Porunga thought, "This way of talking and acting reminds me of Super Shenron. Even we, the dragon gods, were sealed in the dragon spears. We could communicate with our brothers, but Shenron couldn't do that because he was too young and weak, and he didn't get to talk to Super Shenron, but he looked a lot like him in that moment," Porunga thought while looking at Shenron. Porunga was silent for a few seconds, until a golden light surrounded his body completely, and that great light began to get smaller, and in that instant the light was almost the same size as his younger brother. Only Porunga was a little taller, and it didn't take long for the light to disappear and reveal Porunga looking similar to his younger brother. Porunga said, "That was your wish, my brother. Now let's go after the Super Shenron, because it will take a while, because the Super Dragon Balls are spread across the 6th and 7th universes, and finding them will be very complicated. Even if we track them down, they are using our divine energies. So let's go, because I don't want to waste more time talking," said the dragon god of the planet Namek, now in his new humanoid form, while looking at his younger brother. Shenlong said, "Then let's go." Shenron and Porunga soon left planet Namek, and the two started looking for the Super Dragon Balls that were scattered across the 6th and 7th universe, and both knew it would take a long time for them to be able to do that, and especially keep the spears with them. After all, they were gigantic, and they couldn't keep the Super Dragon Balls in an easy way. 1 year later. It had been about 1 year since the day Shenron gained his humanoid form and freed his brother Porunga and asked that his brother also have his humanoid form. And after that they both left in search of the 7 Super Dragon Balls. Since so much time had passed and no one had heard of Shenron, everyone thought that he had given up on his mission. but in reality Shenron and Porunga were gathering the Super Dragon Balls in order to make Super Shenron have a humanoid body. And after one whole year they managed to collect the Super Dragon Balls, and now they had all 7 Super Dragon Balls. Shenron spoke. "We finally got all 7 Super Dragon Balls, and now we can summon our creator, Super Shenron. Porunga, please invoke our creator, because I'm rusty when it comes to speaking in the language of the gods." Shenron spoke while looking at Porunga, who just nodded. Porunga concentrated and began to invoke his creator, using the linga of the gods, and soon as the dragon spheres began to shine, until a great glow blinded both dragon gods, and after a few seconds both saw a huge golden dragon with red eyes being the one, the Super Shenron. Porunga quickly saw his creator and made a wish for Super Shenron to be free of the spheres, and soon after a golden glow appeared, and when that glow disappeared, a humanoid form appeared. Super Shenron thought, "Thank you very much, my dear brother Shenron. I had to control you in order to free myself. And now that I finally freed myself, it's time to go after Toranbo and free him to complete my mission." Super Shenron said with a calm expression on his face, but inside he had a big, evil smile. With that, we'll end today's video. If you want to see the continuation of this incredible story, leave a lot of likes in the video and comment, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you another day.